All right, what you need to do to start with is you're going to set your compass tip on one of the endpoints of your segment, and you're going to extend your compass setting or radius measure so that it's exaggeratedly beyond half the length. So if I set it right here, is this beyond half the length? Probably, but you can barely tell. It's not a guarantee. So you want to exaggerate that. Make sure that it extends beyond half the length. Okay? And then you're going to construct an arc. You want this arc to also extend beyond where you anticipate the angle or the segment bisector will be located. So again, if I think that the segment bisector is going to be somewhere in this area, I want my arc to extend beyond that. And then from the other endpoint, you're going to repeat this and duplicate this arc. So without changing the compass setting, you want to keep it the exact same as what you used in step 1. Place the compass tip on the other endpoint of this segment, and you're going to construct that arc once again. This time, you want to create 2 arc-arc intersections. And so you want those 2 arcs to intersect. If they don't intersect, you need to redraw them so they do. And one of the biggest mistakes on this is to just stop short. A lot of people might stop their construction right here, so you don't actually see where those arcs intersect, and then they'll draw in their bisector. And if I don't see both of the complete markings, then you don't get full credit for that construction. Okay, the final step is to connect the arc-arc intersections. And that connection forms your segment bisector. So if I set my ruler and I connect these intersections, I will have created my segment bisector. Okay. So this set of constructions allows you to find several different things. It allows you to bisect a segment. And now if I were to label these, let's call this point A, point B, and let's say I label the point where it passes through or bisects the segment point M. Okay. Why might I use the letter M for that? What else did I actually construct? The middle, which is called a midpoint. So this is also the construction steps for finding the midpoint of a side or a segment. Okay. And so for each of these, the relationship that exists is the distance A to M and the distance from M to B are equal to each other. Okay. As far as distances or measurements that are magnitudes have numerical values, they are regarded as being equal to each other. If instead of the actual measurements, if you wanted to refer to the physical segments themselves, so if we wanted to look at segment AM and segment MB, then what we would have to use is a relationship called congruence. Okay. Congruence relates objects. Okay. It's designated by the symbol equal with what's called a tilde, just a little squiggle mark on top. Okay. That's what congruence is labeled as, and it basically means equal in all respects. Okay. Congruence is used for objects. Equality is used for measurements, magnitudes, and some numerical value. Okay. Now, what does it appear this bisecting segment, how does that bisecting segment appear to relate to the original segment AB? So, it looks perpendicular. If we were to take our protractor and check it, does that confirm it? Yeah, it's right on that 90 degrees. So we could also call this a construction of finding a perpendicular bisector. Okay, and if it's perpendicular, it means that you created a right angle. So this is also a construction for finding or constructing a right angle. So this set of just real simple constructions here can be used for a bunch of different things. And so you'll see this over and over again. All right, what I would like you to do is on page 37, sample problem number 10, I want you to see if you can find or bisect segment CD and label it point M. So if you're constructing this, you place your compass tip on one of the endpoints. You'd widen your compass so it's exaggeratedly beyond the halfway, or beyond where that bisector is going to fall. Construct an arc that passes through on both sides, top and bottom. Without changing your compass setting, you're going to duplicate that arc from the other endpoint of the segment. And then when you connect the two arc intersections, you will have formed your perpendicular bisector, your angle, or your segment bisector. You'd find your midpoint, you'd create that right angle. But again, in this case, you're looking for point M. And M separates this segment into two equal parts, so we can mark those with tick marks on the figure itself. It asks to write any congruent statements possible, so we know that segment DM and segment MC are congruent. Okay. Based on this congruent statement, you could also make the statement that DM and MC are equal measures. Okay. Remember, without the markings over it, what does DM and MC represent? Those are distances. And so we have segments and we have distances depending on the markings.